How you doing? How you doing? What's going on? Let's see. Did I get the sound? I did. Good. Hi. How are you? So now every day I gotta get the phone going so that I can see comments and stuff. But welcome to the replay. My name is Bobby. This is the Spiritual Artist Group, and I am the host of this group. And this is Daily Fuel, my daily, except every day except Sunday show, except then I stopped doing it at all, and then I was doing it once in a while, and now I'm doing it daily again, but it's still Daily Fuel. So you're in the replay. I know that because there's nobody here. So if you're watching in the replay, do me a favor and just write that you're here in the replay. You can write hashtag replay, hashtag replay person, things like that. If you've seen this in the replay before, you know the drill. Yeah, I usually say if you want to comment along on the replays, definitely go ahead and do that, and that's that. So we got some people showing up here. Who we got? We got Robin is here. Robin, today for the first time ever, you're not showing up in the thing, but yes, Robin, you are live. Hi. How are you doing? And Hector's here. What up? And Ray is here. Hi. So, yeah, you guys are all live. So, yeah, I got to ask you guys because I don't know. I don't know if it's that I stopped doing Daily Fuels every day and then I was like sporadic about it, but now I'm like getting back into it again. But it seems like hardly anybody is seeing the morning or early or afternoon posts, and it's taking forever for people to show up on the lives. I'm not saying everybody has to show up every day or anything like that. You don't have to show up at all. But usually there's like more. So I'm just wondering if I can see your flowers. Yes. Robin, thank you. So I'm just wondering if you guys are noticing that you're not seeing my posts, or is it just a busy week? I don't really know what the deal is. But anyway, so you know the drill. I'm going to start ignoring comments now and go through my spiel. Then I'll come back. You guys can keep commenting if you like. And I'll talk to you at the end. So let's get going. Extraneous. The other day, I got a message from Hector, and I'm not going to go through the whole message and all the stuff he was talking about, but the gist of it was, and he said it was okay to say this, was that he was thinking of starting this new project or adding something to what he's doing. It doesn't really matter what it is, but it's a new thing that he wants to start doing that doesn't really seem to fit completely with what he's already doing. And he's like, and his question was, darn it, I forgot to write down your exact question. But the question was along the lines of like, when is it okay to add a new project, or when is it not okay? You know, or am I just being silly? You start second guessing yourself, right? So yesterday I was talking about the flow, and the flow that, you know what the flow is, right? In energy terms, it's when you're in the vortex, or when you're going downstream, or in artistic terms, it's when you're in the zone, when you're in that flow, when you're in the pocket. And we tend to think of it as forward movement. Even if you listen to Abraham Hicks ever, right? Like they say that it's kind of like going downstream. And when you think of that, I don't know, I picture a stream. And a stream moves forward. It just kind of goes, yeah, it meanders and stuff. But I think of it as kind of forward movement, forward momentum. And I think as humans, when we think of forward movement and forward momentum, we think of a straight line, like just moving towards a destination. Like, I want to get over there and I'm going in that direction. And what if flow is more of like a zigzag? What if it's what if it's like this? What if, what if we can't see the big picture and we don't know what all the pieces are? Obviously we know that, right? So we want order. We want this straight line. We want to just beeline straight to the destination, and I want it to be like 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then yay, right, done. Except it's not really like that. It's 1 and then 10 and then 5 and then 17 and 3.5 and right, it's like you're all over the place. And sometimes when you go from like 1 to 10 or something like that, and 10 shows up, it seems like it's coming out of left field sometimes, right? And I think that's what Hector was noticing, and I know that I've noticed that with things in my life and in my journey as of late, especially when I started this Facebook group. We get this idea. This idea pops into your head, and it's like, oh, that's a really good idea. Except it doesn't seem to completely fit. It's almost like a round peg in a square hole. For me, it was I want to open a new Facebook group, and I didn't know the reason to open a Facebook group. I was just like, why am I doing that? I don't really know, except that I kind of felt drawn to it. And that's kind of what Hector was describing to me, that he had this idea and this vision, and it was like, I don't really know exactly how it fits or why I would even do it, but I kind of feel drawn to it. And I trusted that inspiration, that intuition to start the Facebook group. And I've been learning things about the reason for having done it along the path. There are reasons that I have this Facebook group that wouldn't have even been a consideration on the day that I started it. Except now I'm like, wow, I'm glad that I did, because I have another idea that I want to do with you guys. And so, I think that's something to consider, is that we might not get the next piece that seems logical to us if we're looking at our journey as a straight line, but it is the next logical piece if we're open to the flow kind of just taking us on a journey, and even if we don't know where the hell we're going, right? It's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I trust. So let's just kind of do that. And when you don't trust, when you're trying to keep it on a straight line, but you've got this inkling to do this thing that doesn't fit, I don't know if you do this, but what I do is I try to justify it. I'll be like, oh, I know a good reason why this is the next thing to do. I can do this with it, or I can do that with it. And luckily, I kind of... I skipped that with starting this Facebook group, but it's something I've been guilty of a million times before. I could have said, oh, I have this inkling to start a Facebook group, and then I could have justified it with a reason that made sense based on things I had already known in the past, and reasons that I understand why people start a Facebook group. And I could have tried to force it into this box that was completely understandable, something that I could articulate and show to another person and be like, this is the thing. And they could go, yes, I understand that. Very good. You're good. Except, Hector's got his thing and he can't explain it to anyone why this is a good idea, because he doesn't even know. And I started this Facebook group and I couldn't explain why it was a good idea because I didn't know, except it turned out that it was. And I'm still learning why it was. So, we try to make it linear using our 3D senses, and it's not always a linear thing. And then we end up breaking the flow, and we introduce resistance that way. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that question. I'm going to go to the comments now and see what we got. So let me see. Robin, yeah. Can I see? Yeah. Now I see comments here that I don't see here. Oh, there they are. Okay. Who else we got? Marcia is here. Hi, Marcia. How you doing? And Robin, can you see my flowers? Yes, I can. And Robin asked the question, didn't know when in the day to look for post about what time the live will be that day. I look early, but no notice. Then I look again in the afternoon, but all's good. I just keep looking till I see them. Then I know. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Here's how I do it. I don't really tell you how I do it, but I try to, I go live every day. The earliest I've been going is around 5:30 p.m. my time, which is Eastern United States. And latest I usually go is around 7. So I usually go like 5:30, 6, or 7, right? Sometimes 6:30, but around, those are like the times that I start. I don't think I've even gone later than that or earlier than that since I started this group. Earlier in the day, what I do is I post the image and what the Daily Fuel will be about. I usually do that sometime from like 11:30, the earliest in the morning, my time, to up until usually about 1:30, 2 o'clock my time. Today I actually did it a little later than usual because it's snowing. I had to take my son to the eye doctor and in the snow, and it was just a day. So I got to a late start. But yeah, I just been noticing, like usually by now there'd be a line of comments, and lately there just haven't been. So I'm curious if people just aren't seeing it, or we're just busy, or is this tapering off? I don't know. It could be a natural lull, you know? So, what do we got? We got more. Robin says, when I want things to happen all in a line progressively in a way that makes sense, it doesn't work out just then. Yeah, right? But I feel that I should just keep the faith. Yes, because things happen when the higher power helps us to it. Right. I just look at things like, just keep going. It probably won't work out in a way I don't see right now, but my job is to keep on, even if I don't know how things will turn out. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. You wrapped it up succinctly very well. We get this inkling. Oh, I have this cool idea. I don't know what the heck it's for. So maybe, you know, I don't usually throw those ideas out. If I can't figure out what the idea is for, I like latch onto the idea more than I latch on to needing a reason for the idea. So for me, it's like once I get an idea for a new thing or a new direction or a new whatever, I'm kind of in love with it. And I need to find a way to fit it in. My old way of doing that was to try to justify fitting it in. Well, I could do this with it, or I could do that with it, or I could make money with it this way or that way or whatever. And now what I'm trying to do is just be like, well, it's just an idea. And just because I don't know how it fits, doesn't mean I have to figure out how it fits. I can just play with the idea and find out. And something I hadn't thought of, which I thought of reading your comment, I'm not sure if that's what you're saying, but is, you know, maybe some people might just be like, well, I can't figure out how this fits, so forget that idea, and they just ditch it. And I didn't even think of that because that's not what I do. It's not my MO, you know? I love these ideas so much that I have to do them all. So yeah, I would say that's probably not the way to go either, because if you can't figure out why is this a good idea, and I'll give myself 5 minutes to figure it out and then forget it, it might take 6 months to figure it out. I still don't know exactly where this group is taking me. I just knew the day I started it, start a group. That's all I knew. It was like, ding, start a group. And it's like, all right, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm a group owner. Geez, now what do I do? So here we are. And who's that? Man, today Ray is showing up on the thing and Robin's not. Usually it's the other way around. Hector says, since our convo, that feeling has calmed down a bit. I'm glad it did, I think. LOL. All right, good. I'm glad to hear that, because nobody wants the stress of that, you know? So I hope it all works out. Plus, I know you said you're very busy. And Ray says, sometimes it's not you, it's someone else's flow. Oh, that's interesting, Ray. What does that mean? Sometimes it's not you, it's someone else's flow? Can you elaborate on that? I would like to riff on that, but I don't know what you mean. So let's see. Marcia says, Marcia is watching you. Well, yeah, Marcia says, I always lay everything out on paper, but it ends up differently than the way I intended. Right. That's like me. It's like, let me play the pros and cons game. Oh, this is a good idea. Should I do this? Well, the pros are this and the cons are this. And then it's like, and Source is like, no. You don't have to worry about that. The cons aren't going to happen if you just go with the flow, because there are no cons on the flow path. But you want the flow path to be a beeline to the gold. But the flow path is taking you that way, and then we're going to go that way, and then we're going to go look at that thing, and then we're going to get over there. But that's not good enough for us. We want to go straight to the thing. So so we got to check our pros and cons. Yeah, I think that's like, I don't write them down on paper, but I will labor over it mentally far too long. And Marcia said that. I always get right. I got that. Robin, you say you usually don't throw your ideas out until you figured things out, but you can always throw things out here anytime. Thank you. Finished or not, we love hearing them. At least I do. I can't speak for others, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I do that, and I appreciate that. And that's, I think that's one of the reasons that I started the group, was to throw my ideas out there and see what sticks. I have an idea for my business that includes this group, and as not as the way most people start a group. Most people start a group to build an audience so they can make the group audience the customer. I want to make the group audience the peers that make the thing I want to make with me, and that's all I know about it right this minute. I have an inkling of an idea, of a thought, of a cool concept, but I'm not ready to articulate it yet because I have a feeling things that I might say today will be different tomorrow. And but the idea is coming, and I'm going to share it with you guys soon. So let me see what else. Barbara is watching with you. Hector says, I could... Where are you? I have 2 ideas. Did I miss that? Oh, Marcia says, I almost skipped that one. I have 2 ideas I have been working on for months, but I keep changing everything. Yeah, I do that a lot too. Changing everything is so frustrating because it's like I think what happens for me when I find myself changing everything constantly, it's because I got an idea and I took action on it too quickly. If you saw yesterday's live, the thing that I was saying was that I do my daily meditations and writing every day, and then I'll wait for the inspiration and the ideas. But I try not to take too much action immediately, because when I do, the action is I'm not ready for action in the beginning, so I start making up what to do. I start just making decisions on my own of like, well, I know how to do it in a website this way, so I'll just build this and I'll sell this thing. And suddenly now I'm trying to force this into some business model. And then I get to it and I'm just like, I don't like this. What am I doing? And the interesting thing to me is that I'll scrap that and I'll go do something else, because then I'll get another idea and I'll go do that. And a year later or 2 years later, I'll look back on that idea and I'll just, now I'm looking at it without all the stuff that I made up for it. And I'm just looking at the idea again and I'm like, wow, that was a good idea. But I didn't let it grow. I didn't let it turn into something. It's kind of like Abraham always uses the analogy, like you plant the seed in the ground and then the next day you dig it up and you try to eat the corn, but it didn't grow into a plant yet. Did I just hit the mic? You got to wait till it grows into the plant before you can harvest the wheat, the corn, the whatever. And so there's that. So I just thought of that off the top of my head, but I think what we need to do is, these ideas are seeds being planted, and we need to give them the time to gestate and to grow and to turn into something that's harvestable. But I think that what I do is I try to harvest things too soon, and then I go, this is disgusting, and I throw it away, and then I go do something else, and that's that. So that might be what you're doing if you're changing your mind many, many times. And now I have lost my place. Let me see. I could have shot myself in the... I have 2. I could have... Who's this? See, I have to go back and see who this is. Me. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. I have 2 ideas. I saw that, but I keep changing everything. Hector says, I could have shot myself in the foot. I love my foot. Barbara's watching, and Ray says, maybe... Did you write that twice? Maybe what you're driven to do turns out to be for someone else. Oh, I understand what you're saying. You're there. You're just their tool, so to speak. Okay. I never think of myself that way, but I know people who do. I have my friend Stephanie. She'll call me sometimes. She's in this group, and so she'll call sometimes and just be like, I just had this idea, and I felt that it was for you. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I never get that feeling. I never get an idea and think like, oh, this is for so and so. Maybe for me it's a little different, because I get this idea like, I have these things and I just want to talk about them, and I do them in Daily Fuels or in this group or some other way in a video, and then people say to me, wow, I've learned a lot from that thing, and that wasn't my intention, but I'm glad that you did. It wasn't like my desire is to create something that helps you. It sounds bad, but that's the truth is, this is my way of moving myself forward, and in doing so, I'm helping other people. But it's not it's not like some selfless martyrish act where it's like, I don't care about me, I just want to help other people. No, I care about me, and I do care about you, and I'm happy that it helps you, but that's not like, I'm not trying to be a vessel for other people. But I know that there are people who say like, oh, I got this idea and it's for you, and that's cool. But yeah, Ray, I think that's a great idea. Marsha, Robin says, Marsha, you said it exactly. I often start with sorry, let me start over. I often start a work with an idea in mind, and when it's done, I'm amazed at how different it turned out. Yeah, that happens a lot. And Brian says, hi, Bobby. Hey, bud. What's going on? That's my brother, Brian. Brian Donnie, who's watching with you. Okay. And Hector says, Daily Fuel is awesome. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. So, okay. Well, that's the last comment, and that's all I got to say about that. And, oh, no, that's not the last comment. Okay. Look at that one. Wow. Okay. Let me get my... so Barbara says, oh, see, Barbara shows up. Hey, Barbara, how you doing? Barbara says, I was always in a rush and had to have things now. Yeah, me too. Hello, that's me. I wasn't patient. I had to be successful right now. I've started a business many times and it always fizzled, but now is different. I am patient and I don't care about the end result of having people see me be successful. It's all about loving the action in it. Not because I have to do it, but because I truly enjoy it. And I put my stuff out there and it took off, but that wasn't my intention. Good for you, Barbara. That's really great. I feel like, just to sort of put this in context of what I'm talking about, I feel like I have finally allowed myself to have that attitude with this group. Because in the past, I would get this idea, let me start a group, and I would immediately have to justify it and figure it out and be able to explain it to somebody. Well, I'm starting this group and I'm going to make $1 million with it because it's going to do this. And I knew, I had tried that before, and I knew, dude, you know where this leads. It's going to lead to you not wanting to do this because the idea was right, but your reasoning was wrong because you had to make it explainable to somebody else, or you had to make it where you could show it to them and they would approve, and whoever them is, it doesn't matter who it is. So, but here what you're saying is you just decided to go with the flow of it, and that's wonderful. So good for you. Congratulations. Okay. That is the last comment. So with that, we will end this one, and I will say thank you for spending some time with me today. I always appreciate that, and I'll see you. I'm going to say tomorrow. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday, and I don't know what's going on tomorrow. So just in case it's not tomorrow, it'll be Saturday. But if it is tomorrow, then I'll see you tomorrow. And Barbara says, haha, that's why I can't stop talking. I have to explain. Yeah. I'm an explainer too. And who said that? Robin says you had to make it explainable to somebody else. I do. I feel like I need to justify things. Like if I get an idea, I feel like I need to, it needs to be explainable. I don't know that I really care about anyone else's opinion. I think what I'm trying to do is justify it to myself by being able to explain it to an outside party. Because I don't trust that flow. I don't trust that it's zigzagging anywhere. It's like, hey, I'm going there. Why am I going this way? And it's like, if I feel like it's going in a weird direction, I stop trusting. But now I do. And who's that? But you don't really. Is that still Robin? Yeah, that's still Robin. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it. I will see you hopefully tomorrow, probably tomorrow. If not, definitely Saturday. Have a great day. Where's my mouse? Thanks so much for your time. I always appreciate it. And I'll see you later. Bye.